end of any bottle is normally the story that comes with it. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottom podcast.
What's going on, good people, man? We back at it again, man. It is the Humpday Happy Hour Tap In. I'm Jay Walker III. That's my co-host, Carolina Dirt 803. What's good with you, player?
Hey, nothing. I don't know. I ain't feeling it today. I ain't got my hat on, but I always end with it off, but I'm gonna start with it off today. But it's the Humpday Happy Hour Tap In.
Absolutely, man. Look, everybody have an off day every now and then. I had a little headache. That's why I got my sunglasses on top of the head. It's not that I'm too cool, but I was trying to keep the lights off me for a little bit.
It's
But
CB4
either way,
extra.
Say what now?
CB4 extra. CB4.
That part. Well, you know, we back at it again, man. Look, we have a returning guest. She has her own organization, her own platform, LGL Real Talk. Welcome back. B Love, what's happening with you?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me back. I missed y'all.
Yeah.
It's been a little minute, man, and glad to have you back as well.
Yeah,
yes,
you brighten up our show. You got energy, you light skin, the show just bright now.
I hope I ain't giving him no more of a headache. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be you. So, man, look, we going to get things started here while I'm trying to get my life together with this mix. You know how we go. We go with the first call always, and that's just a little heat check like you remember. 10 questions, no right or wrong answers. It just kind of is what it is. I was thinking about actors and dope actors, man. Bryan Cranston, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Okay. Now we go to Tom Hanks. I'm just drawing a whole blank, man. I had all this stuff lined up in my head. Tom Hanks. Saving Private Ryan versus Wilson when he's on the island.
Saving Private Ryan.
It's a hard act to swallow, but I definitely prefer to watch it to a certain point.
Right.
But it's heavy. White or red wine?
Red.
Definitely red. All right. Favorite meal via the Italian cuisine?
I definitely am down with the lasagna. But I could definitely go for the manicotti. Is that what it is? The stuffed shells?
Oh, stuffed shells is dope.
Oh, that's what I never knew what they were called. Hey, those things good.
Yes, really.
Really. And my final question has been this way for a couple weeks, just to kind of throw people off. White room, 3 chairs. You got one of them. 2 empty chairs. Dead or alive, who do you want to speak with?
Dead or Billie Holiday. For sure and for certain. And Diana Ross.
Oh.
Too super.
Yeah.
I like the originality.
Yeah.
I like the originality.
Those are my girls right there. Thank you.
That's my 5.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go Carolina Dirt.
Yeah. So we going best man or the wood?
The wood.
What do you like about the wood though, real quick?
The fact that it was real friendship and unity, and I'm not saying it wasn't in the best man, but we talking about back when kids were kids and loyalty meant something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really meant something. So the wood for sure.
Right.
Oh. a comedian to play Mr. Gaines in Different World, like a remake?
A comedian. I would say Chris Rock. Y'all wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting, because Mr. Gaines was like a Southern guy. So
but he was so off the cuff, like how, Chris could be so off the cuff and just real on it. So that's why I think of Chris. And I know a ton of comedians. So
yeah, well,
Tyler could be Mr. Gaines too, though.
Tyler could definitely be Mr. Gaines, but he's he's such a big presence. Mr. Gaines was like a little tiny thing. So, but yeah, Tyler for sure.
I was thinking 85 South. I was thinking Carlos, because Carlos is Southern and he's just quick with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick with it. Relaxation, sounds of the ocean or sounds of the rain?
I like both, but because I'm a beach girl, I would have to go with sounds of the ocean.
Yeah, I got to go with the ocean.
I love the water.
All right. HBCU life. The step show or the marching band?
Man, you got the tough ones today, but I'm down for the marching band. Those marching bands be showing up and out, like
For sure.
And they get you up and in the groove, you know what I mean? So yeah, for sure, marching band.
All right, and my last one. I think it's my last one. We're gonna take it back. You remember Quincy's the buffet?
No.
Oh man, you just that's my whole question.
Say buffets died.
Is that
man.
is that a down south thing? I've never heard of.
Yeah, Quincy was a throwback. Quincy's like the buffet back in the day.
Yeah,
with the big,
it's like a family style buffet. You might get roast beef, you might get steak, chicken.
Is it the same as like a sizzler? Like is Quincy's the same as a sizzler?
Yeah. Matter of fact, they bought them out. So we'll go sizzler because they probably got the same huge rolls. Them are Texas Roadhouse.
Sizzler all day, every day. That steak and baked potato was life.
The rose is why my cheeks are shiny right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
White man can't jump. We go with Sizzler. We go with Sizzler.
That's where we going, baby. We going on a date. Take me to Sizzler. That was fancy back then. What you mean?
It was
for real.
It was real.
There was some real allowance money being spent that week.
Believe that. So you are a returning guest, a family member for us, but there may be some people in here that are going to run across you that don't know what your background is. So let's give them a little bit about LGL Real Talk.
Okay. LGL Real Talk. Well, I'm B-Love. LGL Real Talk is my platform. I'm a Queens girl, completely Mets, Jets, Knicks, loyal fan. I know I be disappointed every year, but I don't care. I'm holding out. You
tough, man. You're definitely tough.
Listen, people say it's a red flag, and I'm like, that's loyalty. That's a green flag for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
My platform, growing up in Queens, just seeing so many great things, and we grew up in a really great era, man. When we transitioned and we became we're hybrids now, as talent calls us. We had all the old school good stuff, but now we got all this new stuff too. And so, my platform is about talking about that, where we came from, where we're going, and how we transition into that successfully. Because there was no manual, no rule book on how to be an adult. Everything we knew came from our parents. Today, everything is on social media or on TV, or, you know what I'm saying? It's so visual. And people I'm not gonna say they're getting it all wrong, but it's just a lot of distractions. And so I always just want to take it back to keep it grounded. So that's LGL Talk, and I'm B-Love.
That's what's happening.
Real quick, you are our third Jets fan. So
really?
Comicville, who's from New York, he's a comedian. He's a Jets fan. And our cousin who makes the cakes that I'll be sharing, he's a Jets fan. He's from Staten Island, and he's a Jets fan.
That's right. Jets all day. We ain't got a team worth a damn and haven't had one worth a damn. And I don't know. But, listen, I respect everybody's fandom. You know what I mean? Right. And their team. There's only one team that I completely I can't get with. And y'all know who it is.
Let me hear it.
I'm just gonna say they come from Texas.
Oh man, you don't have to say no more. You don't have to say no more, man.
Okay.
They're horrible.
That's why we family. That's why we family. Because
they're horrible.
Terrible. I don't think anybody likes them except a really select group of people, and you're like,
no, that's the thing. Everybody loves them, but they don't have a reason to. If you're less than 40 years old, you've never seen them win.
Right. But they carry it on. It's a tradition that's carried on. And I think that's so funny how we hand down things like football, but we don't hand down things like generational wealth. You know what I mean? Everybody in the house got the jerseys on, but everybody broke. Like, it's just...
That's what it is. And that's a real thing. That's a good place to start, man. Let's talk about bad habits, the things that like you say, do get passed on for some things that we should be, more mindful or more cognizant, man. Like, I feel like we're in a place now where the world has changed. The biggest leaps and bounds have probably been made over the last 50 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Our parents they the last of that old school breed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like you said, we're kind of that hybrid. We are the last that can do the old way and not cry and complain about it.
Right.
As well as the new way.
Right.
So we've had the discussion before that our parents probably didn't equip us based on not understanding the future.
Right.
It made as much sense to them that we do it the way that they did it before us. You go to school, you get an education, you go to work, you work for 40 years, you live for 5 years after retirement, and you die.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we were first generation that started asking questions. Now, we not as much of a pushback as this new generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we did start asking questions. We did start being a little bit more creative.
Right.
What are the things that you feel like that had they known what the world would be, they would have pushed more on? What do you think your parents would have led you to had they had the foresight of the future?
I think if they would have had the foresight, and that's a really interesting question because our parents were always protective. So for them teaching us to be safe was what they knew, is what they had actually learned, right? Many of them came from reckless situations, or they came from situations that weren't safe. They found a safe solution. So now they just want us to be safe. And even as the world started changing in their view, they still, I can tell you right now, as an entrepreneur who does not have a 9-to-5, my father will tell me today, go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Because in his mind, if you don't have that, you're not safe. Even though he can see that you can get one hit and be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? You could be a superstar as a performer. They see all of that. But they're built to be safe. And that's just kind of their protection of us. So for the ones that really did get it, because there was always one or two who got it, who had that foresight to be like, save your money. You know what I'm saying? Make investments, buy real estate. And there was, again, a very small group. They were those people who were pushing you to think out of the box. So if they did, I think it would be those things. How do we stop being from this King Peter to, stealing from Peter to pay Paul mentality to changing that dynamic so that you don't have to work for somebody? You know what I mean? Getting yourself in a situation where you don't have to rely on a 9-to-5. You don't have to. Who knew? They didn't know that people would be working 30 years today, 40 years today, and getting a pension. What's a pension? You know what I'm saying? Those things don't even exist anymore. So, I think it's a very select few who got it, and they're the ones who pushed those things, which were to think outside the box, to be independent, and make sure that you're taking care of everything.
I think also our parents, or that age group back then, didn't believe in technology of the future.
Right.
So it's hard to believe in the future to say you have all these opportunities.
We would be here.
Yeah, your opportunities was getting a job and moving up. But
right.
But now the mind has expanded so much that now we're believing we can ask these questions. Granted, social media isn't the answer, isn't the place to really ask a lot of questions. And that's kind of where we are now, because people are putting their opinions as facts and other people are believing that.
Right. Well, now, nobody's doing the research.
Nobody's doing, but back then, everything was in a book. You had to read it. You had to have references. You had to have everything to write a book. Now you can just post something, and
you can get paid strictly on opinion now.
Yeah,
right.
Strictly on opinion, which is cool because everybody has an opinion. But in a sense, social media is built off opinion, and as much opinion is getting out as being destructive instead of constructive.
It is. But I think that comes down to us.
Yeah.
And that's what I was just talking about, is what do we teach yesterday, the whole show, what are we handing down to our kids, right? We came from a generation, they couldn't even understand technology because of the first TV was created in 1950 or something like that. My mom was born in 1950. So even as we saw the evolution of television, when we were, a certain age, television went off at 11 o'clock. You watched the Honeymooners. I said it yesterday. After the Honeymooners, you heard the national anthem, because that's what they was doing, shoving that down our throat. And then you got static. So I don't think in their mind they could ever anticipate that we would be here, that technology would be here, that everything would be so open, so visible. And they also controlled the narrative, right? They were so in charge of it that it was like, you get to watch TV from this time to this time. TV has become the babysitter. Social media has become the babysitter. You know what I mean? I don't want to deal with it, so here, just do this. And I think, I'm grateful for my parents for not pushing those things with technology. They always wanted me to go back to the book.
Right.
And
we had
encyclopedias.
Yeah, we had 240 pounds worth of encyclopedias in our house. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
A dictionary. That Webster's dictionary.
It's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are, if anything bad happens over the next 20 years, because we the ones that's going to save Earth until these young kids figure it out. You, as a parent, as a parental figure, whatever the case, guidance counselor, friend to the family, whatever, we got to try to speak to these kids in a way that helps them understand some of that old shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest part, is there is such a lack of communication between our generation and the generation behind us. Because we kind of like, why don't y'all know this shit? And they kind of like, well, y'all don't really talk to us.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
I was saying that yesterday about parenting, right? What we handed down. Unfortunately, we became that generation because our parents did crack down on us, because they were strict on us, because they understood the value of it. We didn't. All we knew is that I got to do chores every weekend. I can't go outside unless I clean the bathroom and wash the dishes. And every night my chore is to wash dishes. You know what I'm saying? And the value that went into that, because we were those parents. I don't want my kid to do that. I don't want them to work that hard. We actually,
and that's why they allergic to grass and dishwashing detergent now.
Go outside, like they don't even want to go outside. You know what I mean? But that's our fault, because as much as our parents were in our behinds and we hated it, it gave us so much that we can walk away with now. To your point, these kids don't even have common sense. Sometimes I'm like, this is like, you don't see this A and B, you know what I'm saying? 1 and 1 is 2. No, mom, it's 5. I know I'm not that young, but 1 and 1 is always going to be 2. No, mom, it's 5. And it's just like the common sense part of it. But we've allowed that. We have allowed that.
That's why boys can be girls. And, that's a sensitive thing. We're not going to get into it tonight.
We can talk about it whenever you want, because it's a true thing. And let me tell you something. As much as they want to put down our throat that this is what it is. Y'all need to understand that we have a feeling about it too. The same way you have your feeling, I have my feeling. Why is my feeling not valued because it doesn't agree with yours? You know, I had a conversation with someone, and she was with this older woman our age. She is actually older than us. She was talking about her nephew was bringing his boyfriend to Thanksgiving dinner, but everybody was apprehensive because the grandfather wasn't down for it, right? And they were like, you know, so, well, grandpa, I said, why does grandpa have to get over it? Why? Grandpa was here before all of y'all. If it wasn't for grandpa, y'all wouldn't be here. So I'm trying to figure out why grandpa got to get over it.
Girls was girls and boys was boys for 70 years. You're not going to get him to change his mind.
No. And why should we? Why, if you want me to respect your values and your opinion, why can't you respect mine? That's the problem that I'm having with this generation on a whole. You want to shove your crap down my throat, but you don't want to hear anything I have to say.
Right.
So guess what? Don't come over. If you feel that uncomfortable, don't come. I'm good. Grandpa's good. He's been doing this for how many years now?
Right.
It's all good.
You're absolutely right. He is a bigot. Don't come over here. We're not going to change him.
At all.
I think it's the power of choice, too. Like, back in the day, it was no choice. Like you said, you wash the dishes, you wash the wall. If you want to go outside and play, you got to do all your chores, do your homework. When you get out of school, take your school clothes. Like, it was all direct.
Structured.
And, structured. And now it's like, you hear parents all the time, well, what do you want to do?
Right.
How can I mediate this conflict between me and my child? There's no conflict between me and my child. Either my child does what I asked them to do,
or there's a problem.
Or there's a problem. My kid, I don't see how me asking if my kid's okay when I know it's not that serious.
Right.
Why do I have to ask my kid okay? I mean, are they okay? Because how does that teach them to overcome obstacles? How does that teach them the power of no only goes so far? Depending on who's telling you no. Like, they're not teaching these kids that. So when you hear kids out there hearing no and they're out there flipping, that's partially why. Some of these people aren't even gay. They're gay because it's in style.
Cool. Right.
The Me Too movement. Yeah, there's no way. And now you went from being straight to being gay to bisexual, but now you're straight again.
Right.
So were you ever gay? Were you ever straight? Like, it's just the power of choice instead of building a structure. And then when they're 18, 20, 30 years old, let them find their way. But we're giving them too many choices at a young age. Yeah.
Well, that's what I've told my kids. I'm like, you know what? Where I went wrong with y'all is allowing y'all to think that y'all had an opinion. You don't have an opinion. Your opinion is my opinion until you're able to formulate your own. Right now, they are teaching fourth graders. There is this book I was just reading the other day. There's this book that they're teaching 10th graders about sexuality, homosexuality, sex. These are conversations that at this age, I'm not saying that you don't have your feelings, but I should not be putting this in your face. And B, as a parent, I need to have a connection with you where we should be having this conversation. Hey, Mom, I feel this way. I feel like I like this. And I can say, well, why do you feel that way? Because it's so in your face on TV and music. You know what I'm saying? You see, no offense, you see a little Nas X, and it's just like, I'm confused. I don't understand why it's okay to push a narrative that these kids don't understand yet. To your guys' point. So now we're sitting here. I don't know what I like. You know, I was even reading an article about a young man the other day. He was sexually abused as a young kid, thought he was gay. Was for years homosexual until at some point he was like, I'm not. And now he's actually married with kids in a healthy, productive relationship. So we as parents need to start taking responsibility, because that's where I think we're lacking. We're letting everybody else raise our kids because we're busy working. Listen, I've been guilty of it. We're busy working. We're keeping a roof over your head. We're making sure you have the expensive things that you want and need. And we're not giving you the values that we're supposed to be giving you so that you're able to make the proper decisions.
And this is the thing. there was this argument that there was a lack of representation for the LGBTQ and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been taught that there have been homosexuals at least in Shakespeare's time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's never been out of the purview.
Right.
But now it's like, if they're not represented, we can't do it at all. And
Right.
I'm trying to say, like, you cannot act like there aren't circles where there aren't any homosexuals in that particular circle.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that that circle dislikes the homo. They just don't have any connection to it.
Right. Again, why are you shoving this down my throat? Why is it okay for you to shove it down my throat, but I can't shove monogamy down your throat? I can't say this is not something that I agree with or care for. And just so we're clear, I'm an LGBTQ elemental P supporter. No offense, the letters are changing every day. You know what I mean? And so do you. I come from a place of do you, but please respect me and mine. And if I feel uncomfortable about something and I'm saying this is not, I don't want to be around it, I don't want to see it. No offense, I don't want to see two men having sex on TV. I just don't. And so I get to change the channel. But then you're putting it in my favorite shows where I'm like, this is just regular stuff. You know what I mean? And I just feel like everybody needs to respect each other and stay in each other's lane. And that's what we're lacking.
And kids start putting on cartoons. And the other crazy thing is, so you take church out to school, you want to erase Black history, but you want to put homosexuality in the schools.
Yep.
Like how is that fair if Black people we've been mistreated for years. And it seems like that community has jumped over us.
Yeah.
So how
it's always been our fight that keeps getting hijacked.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always
they feel like you don't have a fight. They feel like we don't have a fight. Like, how dare you? You now have equal rights. You're able to vote. You guys are making money. Athletes are making millions of dollars. Rappers are billionaires. You're in the club. What more do you want? Equality.
I want you to sell my house for the same $500,000 that you sell Margie and Nick's house for. That's what I want you to do. There's still so much work we got to do. And the last thing that I'll say about the homosexual, if you talk to the old school homosexuals, they are just as confused as the heterosexuals.
They're more offended. They are truly
and offended.
Right. But see, you can't talk to them because they kept it so quiet, right? They were always quiet. They had to be quiet. And so they kept it quiet and respectful. Now it's all out there where it's just like it's my way or the highway. Again, the fact that we've given you guys an opinion and now you're running with it. It's our fault. It's our fault as parents. We have to be accountable for the things that we've allowed to happen. And now that it's out here, we let them light the match. Now everything's on fire and we're like, how did we get here? We let them light the match, And when we talk about race equality, what I would like is for my Black sons and my Black daughter, granddaughter, my grandson to not be able to walk out the door and walk back home. And not be arrested or in a body bag.
Well, that doesn't matter because everybody wants. Wow, I just read Coolio died.
Damn, cuz.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Coolio.
Of what?
I have no idea.
He's our age.
Yeah.
Coolio, David Arnold fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like now. There is no old age.
Right. Remember when you would live into 80, 90, 100 years old? That doesn't seem to be happening anymore.
And they said David Arnold died of natural causes at 51.
What? I didn't know. I never found out exactly what he passed of. I knew the comedy world was devastated when he passed.
He was great. He was great, man.
Talent was completely devastated. They did a whole show, dedicated to him, a bunch of shows dedicated to him. And I think that even makes the point even more today is how much we need to value our each other and our relationships, and you know, the things that we like, I'll deal with that tomorrow, I'll deal with that another day. We don't have tomorrow. We don't. It's not promised. I say it all the time, and I don't say it flippantly. I'm like, we may not be here tomorrow, and this is another example of that.
Yeah, they said
Wow.
I'm just skimming through, but they said the paramedics suspect it was cardiac arrest, but it hadn't been official. And the crazy thing is, I was riding with a coworker last week for work, and he's a Mexican, and I asked, what type of music you listen to? He's like, rock and roll. So we're riding. He told me that the day before, so we're riding, and he actually played Gangsta's Paradise last week.
Oh, wow. Rest in peace, Coolio, man. And this is what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those situations where we need to get it right. As right as we possibly can. We need to forgive. We need to live, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, right now, we live in a world where everybody's going to do what they want to do. We need to find respectful boundaries and just keep it respectful.
That's it. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's something I always wanted to ask you when I watch your podcast.
What's that?
Sometimes I feel like the conversations are good.
Thank you.
Sometimes I feel like the conversation also, you're looking for answers, but it may just be the type of people in the comment section. It may just be the guests. It feels like it's bringing more division. Like, it's not your fault, because I think you're trying to control everything. And this is beyond what we talked about before. It's just, It's just other guests also. And I just feel like what we're talking about, the future is grim because we're not together.
Right.
And we're placing the blame on each other still.
Yeah, and we're not. Right. And so the kids are looking at confusion also. We have to take the accountability that Absolutely. The kids are looking at us confused, whether it be the gay stuff, whether it be the gangs, whether it be people value money, but we're not valuing family in the end. Of all the stuff, we're not valuing money. So it's bringing division more than bringing everybody together. I respect your show and everything you do for sure. I just said, like, certain people, I just feel like they show where we are in the world right now when it brings division. Well, you got to have this or you can't have that, instead of just, like you said, finding the answer what can bring us together.
Right.
Because the kids are watching us.
They are. And you know what's funny is it's interesting that you say that. Like, one of the things that I love about the feedback on my show, right, is even to be able to clarify this. I have the conversations so that it can provoke thought. I have the conversations because, to your point, there are people here and there are people here. I try to have the conversations to bring in both perspectives so that somebody can be like, I never really thought about it that way. You know what I mean? And then I always spark the conversation and I'm like, I want you guys to share this talk with somebody else. Use me as the excuse. I was watching a live the other day and she brought up this topic. You know what I mean? What do you think about this? Or what do you feel about this? And then talk about the different responses, because that's what we are. We are divided. And I don't know that I'm the person who's bridging that. I just hope that when we're having the conversations, we're able to look at it from both sides of the fence. That's what I'm trying to accomplish on my show.
You can't fix it without the conversation.
Right. We can not talk about it.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but the kids are watching it, and I think that's the, like, when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, like, the kids are watching us bicker. The kids are watching us with division. We talked about the married couples. It's just like, we talk about the bad married couples, but we don't hear about the good stories.
Agreed.
The good stories aren't told. The good stories aren't blasted everywhere. It's the single mother, which has been all over TV music for decades. The single fathers is starting to come in, but a wholesome family is not there. Even if they put a wholesome family TV show on there, they're going to put a twist in the drugs or the adultery. Like,
you're going to have those things. It's not
right. But Family Matters was big because you didn't see Carl out there cheating. His wife looked like like somebody you see at the grocery store.
Right.
Like, right now, to me, unless it's on one of those low budget networks, obviously I don't watch all of them. There's no shows like that on primetime TV showing you to respect everybody, but stand your ground in the same sense and embrace family.
Right. I agree. And it's so important. Family's so divided right now. People are so divided right now. You know, unfortunately, and I've talked about this on my show, family doesn't always mean together. You know what I mean? Family doesn't always mean protected and taken care of. And so, you know, as much as I would love to have those topics and have those people come on and be a reflection, what I've noticed in doing these shows, again, people don't want to talk about the healthy stuff. I can have a healthy show with people coming on talking about successful relationships and have 7 viewers. But if I bring on the show with the ratchetness and the craziness, I got 50, 60 viewers in the room. And it's just, and I've noticed that. You know what I mean? It's a constant work in progress for me to make sure like I'm talking about the things that are impacting the way that we think and the way we move and the way we feel. People don't even believe in generational curses anymore. I said that yesterday. I'm like, my whole platform is about generational curses. People don't understand they're still carrying baggage that's impacting us. The way you even interact with your coworker, the way you're interacting with your children, the way you're interacting with your lover comes from the things that were given to us. But we don't want to unpack those bags. It's easier to believe that it's their fault, not ours. And that's what I'm saying. It comes down to accountability. So the one thing that I am trying to drive on that show is A, sparking the conversation, B, accountability, and how do we change it?
It's the rebuttal, you know what I'm saying? It's the no, it ain't, or y'all ain't shit, or we can't fit. It's those short rebuttals that won't allow, okay, you said no, it ain't, or we'll never get it right. Now expound on that. Tell me why we won't get it right. You feel me?
Wise.
There's, you know, just between the man and woman and black men and black women, both sides are, instead of listening to one another, they're waiting to respond. They're waiting on their chance to talk. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And you had a show, this has probably been about a month ago now, and you were talking about, you know, brother husbands and how...
What's all the title?
What's your homeboy, George?
Yeah. Yep.
George was like, nah, I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that.
And for somebody like myself, I'm a little bit more open-minded.
Right.
Now, George is not a candidate for it. For that matter, I'm not a candidate for it. My ego is fragile.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to say that a woman can't indulge in that, or there are not 2 men that can accept that role, like, stop crashing it in and just be honest and say it's not something that I can handle.
It's not for me. Exactly.
Right.
You know, that's so funny because I tell George all the time when we talk offline, and when he says that to me, he's like, I can't do it. I'm like, George, for every time you say no, after I have that show, I had 3 men in my DMs like, yo, what's up? Where can I send the resume? People are down with situations that are open and honest. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we've come into a place where people want to live in this cloak of monogamy while they're cheating. Look at this coach with that's been going on for the past 2 weeks now. Homie's been having an affair for a whole year now. Mind you, moved this beautiful queen he's been with for 10 years out for his work, knowing that their whole world was going to implode. You know what I mean? I don't know that he hasn't been honest with her and didn't say this is what it was and she was okay with it. We don't know that. Because that's not where we come from. We don't come from that honesty. We come from keep everything behind closed doors. Everything is for face. Right. And we're going to rock with what everybody else sees. I myself am not into polyamorous relationships. I'm not. I talk about it from the perspective as a woman dating today. The rules today are changing. Men used to date for intention. They wanted to have a family. They wanted to have a wife. They wanted to have a family. They wanted to have a home. They wanted security. Men today have options. They can do what they want. Women are out here submitting to that. You know, where it's just like, and under this word of control. I'm doing what I want because I'm in control. No, you're doing what you want because you're co-signing this because you're not getting what you want. So because you're not getting what you want, you're falling into what they doing, and now everybody's just doing their own thing, and it all is just creating this ripple effect of pain. So when I talk about brother husbands, that's just my way of saying, hey, can you be honest?
Right.
Can you have that conversation and actually work in a functional relationship? Because for many people, a lot who are in monogamous relationships, and I say it even when I do the show, you're getting cheated on right now. Just so you know. You just
For
don't
some
know.
people, that's what it is. And I think we need to give back to words meaning what they mean.
Right.
You keep moving the goalposts, and that's on both sides.
Right.
When I was young, when I was a young man growing up into adulthood, dating was literally dating. That means I'm going to call you.
Right.
You're available. I'm going to suggest that we go to a movie or a dinner.
Right.
And we're going to do that. That
Right.
doesn't, now dating means, to some people, dating means we go together.
Right. Right.
We need to stick to the definition of what we're doing.
Right.
Now, because the lines have been blurred and the words have been kind of watered down, you have to be more intentional now. But if I say that I'm dating somebody, that don't mean we go together.
No, it means we're getting to know one
another.
another.
You on Tuesday, I can date somebody else on Friday.
Right.
And nobody should have an issue. Not a toxic, negative energy issue.
Right. Well, they also having sex earlier, because like what we call dating in 2 weeks or in a week, they also giving up the goodies, and so there's more feeling within it because the world is microwave. They want everything fast.
Right.
So
that's where
instant gratification.
The goalpost is being moved.
And that's the thing. So, because everybody wants to get what they want out of it, it's like, oh, good. And I've heard these debates from men and women too, with the whole giving up the goodies up front. Well, I'm going to do what I want. I'm a grown woman. Okay. But understand that may change the way that he looks and feels about you. And then you have the men on the other side. That doesn't matter. Maybe not to you, but to somebody that I wanted to matter to, it may matter. So then it goes back to, what are your values? We all have been through our whole phase. Let's be clear. All of us have gone through our phase, but we've done what we wanted to do. But then at some point you get to the point where it's not for everybody. And then you have these platforms and these talkers. This is what they do all day, talk-ish. And they talk about this. A woman feels empowered if she's able to do what she wants with her body. That's true. But understand the reaction and the cause and effect that go with that. And we're okay to do it without the cause and effects.
Right.
You know?
You don't assume because you gave up your goodies and you thought that those were life-changing events for that gentleman, and that gentleman just accepted it as he would a box of cookies. Like, thank you.
Right.
You
ate the cookies and threw the packaging away, and now we're on.
I think that's one of the things that throw me off is you have a value for this. And you didn't talk about what that value was for the other person. And then you got mad at them because they didn't value it the same way.
Right.
But nobody's going to value it, because back in the day, y'all remember, if you date, you might stay on the phone for 3 hours talking about nothing. But that was really bonding time.
Yep.
Now it's, let me get your number, I text message you, we might FaceTime, and 2 days later, I done smashed.
2 DMs. What's your address?
Right.
When can I come see you?
And the sad part about it, and this is what really pissed me off, y'all throw it on Facebook. Like, y'all throw the whole interaction that happened in 2 days, and you're reading it and looking at it like, damn, they must have been together for a while. And you be like, damn.
No, you know better than that. The Facebook relationship, that Facebook lens is so hilarious.
Yeah.
From she met somebody. So now, do I want to go, because you posted this, do I want to go to our mutual friends and say, what you got, this don't last 17 days? How many days you got? How many days you got? And then you see it played out exactly the way we know it is.
Right.
At a certain point, it's not always the other person.
No, it's not. It takes two to tangle.
For sure.
But let's be clear about this, and I have a question for you guys after I make the statement. we also go back to what it is we're seeing and those values that are being instilled from the people that they should, which is us. If I'm a mom and I've had these conversations with my child where I'm like, we can't just talk about everything in front of my granddaughter. She's not, first of all, she doesn't even deserve the conversation. This is grown woman talk. I'm gonna need you to take yourself in the room. Certain things apply, certain things don't. But we treat the kids like they're a part of the conversation. So now when they talk about, I was out with this one, and if he ain't paid for it or he wasn't paying for dinner, I'm not seeing it. Like all of these things that put these out, and that was the point of the conversation last night. The things that we're dropping on our kids that we think they're not absorbing, and they're absorbing them. And they're becoming their own individual using those things. Also, when you look at social media and you see all these people, no offense to Lori Harvey, jumping from dude to dude to dude, and not just any dudes, real dudes.
Top flight.
We going from puppies to the sun, to the futures, to the Michael Jordans. Real options, and it's okay, and it's applauded. So why wouldn't these girls think it's okay? You know what I mean? It goes back to us, our values. It's not okay. It's not okay, and that's what we need to be teaching. One of the things that I'm struggling with right now, and I get a lot of flack about it, is women asking men out. How do y'all feel about that? I don't believe in it personally. For me, I kind of feel like a woman, I don't know. For me, I just feel like if a man is a man, I kind of look at a man as the king of the jungle. The king of the jungle is not getting picked up by the lioness. You know what I'm saying? He rules.
But you know what? That shows you how many lions there are out in the valley.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reason why I don't have an issue with it is if you want to initiate, dudes have to walk this tightrope now of being toxic and expecting that this chick should want to go out with him, which is the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Expecting that this chick should, throw caution to the wind and go out as soon as he says something, to still being able to maintain that cool, aggressive, hey, what's happening? What you doing this weekend? Let's go do something. Right. I think a lot of times the comfortability of alphas is going alpha.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you don't have that dude that's looking at you, that's not asking, that looks like he wants to ask, he's probably not an alpha.
Right.
But you also got where, like my brother said, the tight line. But if you want it, if you can go out there and work a job and move up 3 times in 7 years because you dedicated and that's what you want, you should be dedicated to go.
Sometimes dudes is oblivious.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna tell you.
You should be able to have enough confidence to go and talk to that dude, because the men are a lot weaker these days. You also got to think the man's insecurity of get turned down by you.
Yeah, that's where it goes back to what Jay Walken says. Alpha is an alpha. And I guess maybe for me, I just feel like an alpha is going to do his thing. I don't feel he doesn't feel threatened by an independent woman. An alpha doesn't feel threatened by a woman who has a voice like myself. You know what I mean? He doesn't feel, he's securing his skin. I'm securing my skin as a woman. So I don't feel threatened by very many things.
So what I'm saying is, so if there's a dude over there you liking, y'all eyeballing or whatever, and he don't ask you out, you will just to pass that up just because of that?
No, he should come ask me out.
No, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, if he weren't to come ask you out,
then no, I'm not gonna approach him. No, because the type of man that I need him to be that alpha. I'm an alpha female, and for an alpha female to submit, it can only be to an alpha male. Period. I'm not gonna submit to somebody that I have to go ask out. I have to make plans with. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm open. So if you come, because I understand the apprehension is that I may say no. So if we giving each other the look and it's like, hey, what's up? I see you, like, don't get it confused. I'm a flirt.
Yeah, but you might be 3 glasses in. You might be on that hen and coke.
It don't matter. That should make it easier for them.
But then that go back to, man, I thought we were just cool. You done smashed on the third date.
No. What I'm saying is, and guess what? And even if we do, there's still an understanding and a respect of who we are, right? As an alpha male and a man and I always say this: real people do real things. Period. A real man is gonna approach a woman. A real woman is gonna be either open to it or say nah, and why. You know what I mean? And we're gonna move from there. If we smash on the third date, we have an understanding. We understand who we are. But if we're living in ambiguity of what this is, and now it's just like I'm approaching you. So now as a woman, I'm completely off foot.
Right.
If I have to lead you, I can't submit. And as a man, I'm pretty sure submission is important because you want to lead me. So lead me.
There can never be 2 alphas. There aren't 2 alphas in nature. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody has to submit.
A leader of that lion pack. There's a leader of that wolf pack. He don't share the lead. Now, if he dies, somebody will step up.
Right.
Well,
but as long as he's alive,
he's a leader.
But you do got to share because you can have, like our dad tells the story all the time. Our dad's an alpha. He king alpha. Okay. 2 jobs, did everything. Mm-hmm. He did everything, but he couldn't do it without my mom.
Right.
For all the technical stuff, she's the alpha.
Right.
The bills, she's the alpha.
Right.
Raising these 2 boys while you work 2 jobs, she's the alpha.
Right.
Making sure you got beneficiaries and 401k and all that, she's the alpha. So you do need 2 alphas because the situation will cause for 2 alphas if you're in a relationship, because I can't be everywhere she is, she can't be everywhere I am. So my parents, they built this, so you can walk into our house and our dad's gonna be loud, right? Yeah, drinks. Anybody wants to drink? He alpha, king alpha. He'll tell you the most gangster stories in the world. Okay. And my mom will sit there with her legs crossed and say, nothing said. But you can see the power coming off her.
Right.
And when they bicker, sometimes she's the alpha in the bicker, and sometimes he's the alpha. But I can respect that. But a lot of people can't get to that point because they can't take that, and that's part of the problem now. Like, everybody can be an alpha, but you don't have to be an alpha all the time.
No, you got to play your position.
But see, people don't want to do that because of social media, you don't want to seem weak in front of other people. Our parents are, so the technology was, if you're weak inside the house. There's nobody taking pictures of it.
Right.
Out there, if you're weak, it's people taking pictures of it, it's people documenting. So now it's frustration and you ain't shit, or you ain't shit, and it's all this other extra stuff instead of understanding you're an alpha now.
As a couple, though, you're supposed to know that. As a couple, if y'all really together, right?
But if that's where you're going, you have to understand that those roles need to be met. We're alphas together.
And I will say it again. Real people do real things. Real women understand that they cannot lead a real man. I can never lead an alpha male. If I'm with an alpha male, which I need to be because I'm an alpha female, I'm strong in what I do, I must submit to that man. Which means, and submission, because again, submission is a bad word. Oh, don't you ever say that word. What?
Only the women.
Just simply means to me.
You got whips and chains.
Okay. Submission is simply knowing when to step up and when to step back. And in a relationship, if you want to be with a man and he's an alpha male, you have to step back. You step up to the things that you need to, i.e. the bills, the kids, the house, making sure those things, or whatever it is that you agree on. But when we out in the streets, I'm going to need you to lead me. I'm not going to be embarrassing you. I'm not going to be, you know what I'm saying, taking the lead. I need you to be the man. And that's where I think men are failing today. They're scared to be their alpha selves because they get with women who are strong and don't want to submit.
I
think it's
society.
It's society altogether. It's me, by society's terms, I'm toxic. Now I'm comfortable being that. Like that, their determination on what they feel like I am as a man means shit to me.
Right.
But there are men out there that are affected by that because it's what's popular. They may have daughters and their daughters have grown up on that being popular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't sit down with your daughter as an old school kind of dude, as an alpha male kind of dude, and let her know this is the reason why you may have raised your voice. This is the reason why you were upset. You weren't right.
Right.
But this is the reason why I did what I did, what I did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because everything is deemed toxic, a lot of people will shy away from that.
Be lonely then. Yeah, Tito, women do be claiming that. Agree. And that's why they are lonely. They're lonely because they don't understand that independence doesn't mean being by yourself or not being submissive. Independence means that I'm sustaining myself. So I'm self-sufficient and I'm able to handle everything. And women throw this word boss around. Boss to me just means that all these balls that are in the air don't fall. That's it. I'm taking care of everything. Some may get a little low some days. Some are going to be a little higher, but none are going to fall to the ground. None of those things, again, should be taken away from what a man does or what he brings to my life.
The minute I hear you say what you will and won't allow your dude to do,
yeah,
I got nothing for you. Because you can't tell me shit.
Right. And you shouldn't
can accept.
That's not the nature of the relationship. It shouldn't be about what we're telling each other to do. Again, it's an agreement. It's an agreement between two people on what works for us. And last time I heard, to your point, society, I said it in a live, judgment and what you think has never paid a bill. Okay. Wells Fargo has never taken judgment or society as a payment. Neither does Amex, neither does nobody. So I can't put that into, I don't fuel my tank with that.
Right. A lot of people do though. A lot of people are accepting what this new world is. You know what I'm saying? And right, wrong, or indifferent, I know that there are a few select dudes out here that are going to uphold what they were raised on and the type of dude that they are just going to be.
Yep.
Versus what is being taught to your son when he's at school, or what is being levied against him as he's out in public. You know what I'm saying? We're just in a weird place. Well, some people are in a weird place off the strength of they don't know if it's okay to be them.
And that's why I say you need to work on yourself, because you can't be a viable partner to anyone else if you don't have yourself together emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. I'm sorry. You can't want quality and you're not quality. I don't use the word high value, but I'm like, get your life together. Be comfortable in your own skin where you're not even caring what other people say or think. I don't walk into a room and compare to myself to any other person. I just don't. Sorry. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. There are women out there who are more beautiful than I am, more educated than I am, have more money, more success. They still ain't B. So,
and that's the way it should be.
Rock your show, you know?
That's the way it should be.
I've always
straight up and down.
On your opinion, this is something I've seen happen several times. Mm-hmm. So, a man and a woman together in public, and she's controlling him.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to go to bed. It's time to go eat. It's whatever. How do you feel about that as a woman outside looking in?
Again, outside looking in, for me, I'm just like, whatever works for you. But for me personally, it wouldn't work for me, because if I want a man, again, to lead me, to be that strong, to be the lion of my jungle, then I have to let him lead. I can't tell you what to do. And you shouldn't be telling me what to do. It should be a, hey, you know, because I heard something earlier about somebody saying, you know, sometimes women don't know what they want to eat, and we want men to take the lead on that. I don't want you to take the lead on what the hell I'm eating. Babe, what we eating? Let's figure it out. You want tacos, I want chicken. Let's just make both and everybody eat what they want. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I want you to lead me on. And the rules are very confusing out here today when it comes to those things. Whatever works for you. it's just not something that I see or that I'm in agreement with, because again, men need to be men. And that's where we're falling short. Men are not men. Women are not letting men be men. And now we have this hot mess out here of what's going on. And I will be seriously single until I find somebody who fits that purview. I'm totally okay with it.
It's so weird, man. Like, I have been about to say something to a woman, and based on a conversation that they was having when I walked up, changed my whole mind.
Right. Because you knew she wasn't going to fall into your bucket.
Like, I can see myself smacking you the fuck up. That's what you don't know. And I don't want to have to do that.
Right. We don't do jail no more.
I can tell the type of person that you are with the violence. Like, you are all about violence.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know and identify it ain't for you, which is a good thing. There's some dudes who get turned on by that. Their mama used to beat them when they were young, and now they want to be beat when they old.
Hell no. I don't want that beating then. I damn sure don't want it now.
Exactly.
It's like, I only know how to fight one way, and that's going to get me locked up.
For real. I want peace. I hear men say all the time, they just want their peace. I'm like, if y'all think that women are out here just trying to find ways to mess up y'all peace, I promise you that there are women out here who want the same peace you want.
Absolutely.
I just gotta wait to find her.
I'm about to say, those aren't the ones that's broadcasted on TV and movies and social media. And that's the problem. Like you said, I think that was the Matrix. Remember when y'all said everything turned off?
Yep.
And then the TV went white fuzz. And then all of a sudden the internet is born and it's on all the time, never turns off.
Right.
That is the Matrix. So now you don't get a break. Like, you have to personally put yourself on a break. But you can't, because your life lives through that phone and through social media as far as work and businesses and stuff. But I think that was the pill of the Matrix. The red pill or the blue pill. And everybody chose the Matrix.
Yep. And they popping that blue pill left and right. But for the few of us that are popping that red pill, or who took it and understand what it is, I say stick to your guns. Don't change who you are. Don't hold on to your values. Hold on to who you are. I promise you, even though the group is getting smaller, that's even better for me. Everybody can't be at the top.
Yeah.
So let them stay where they are.
And ladies, if you see a dude pop a honey pill, don't take that. You don't want that problem. Don't let him take that honey.
Listen to your voices. Like, there's big talk on these red flags and what a red flag is. I don't know what your red flags are. Right. But if you have a legitimate red flag and you in that courting phase, listen to that fucking red flag.
Pay attention. Absolutely. Don't make it pink. Don't make it purple. Because it doesn't fit the need. It's red. Pay attention.
And another thing, you take that with your kids and your friends too. Everybody got flags. Make sure if your kids are waving a red flag or there's potential red flag, you snatch it up and get an understanding. And if it's your friends, you make a decision. Is that red flag enough for our friendship? Agreed.
Well, it's your life. We had that part of the show, man. This is your last call, man. What you want to tell the people?
I just want to tell the people, first of all, thank you. Well, to you both, thank you so much for having me on and allowing me to have this talk with you guys. You know, at the end of the day, be who you really are. Forget what social media says. Forget what society says. Stick to your values. Stick to who you are. Be your best you. Stay positive all the time. And always just pay it forward as much as you can. Thank you for having me, guys. Absolutely. And if you're not following me, follow me on LGL Real Talk on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Follow your girl, share, like, and join the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, she has a lot of dope conversations, and y'all should pull up. You know, go ahead and let them know what times again.
Okay, so every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you're following, you'll see pop-ups. I've been doing more shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure you're just following me. Make sure when you see the notification, jump in the conversation. If there's something you guys want to talk about and used to, we have to find a topic so we could chop it up together. But if there's something you want to talk about, let me know. That's what we do. We talk that ish. We're real people about real things all the time.
Absolutely. Carolina, what you gonna tell the people, man?
Appreciation. This is a networking thing. This is an example of how you network. LGL's been on here. I think it's her third time on here. She's always blessed us with a great show. Offline, she always gives pointers on what she's doing, what we're doing, and coordinating, getting better. Of course, we want to have her back again, probably before the end of the year. But she's one of our early guests. When I say coming back to return, so I feel like we got a good communication. She comes on our show and she articulates herself real well. So that being said, that's why network is superpower. You never know who can help you. People want to say they did it by themselves. You never know who can help you. I can say we're doing it by ourselves, and by her being on the show, if we get one of her people to come to our show, we didn't do it by ourselves.
Absolutely.
You got to get that understanding. But network is superpower. I appreciate Be Love. Go follow her. It really do be good conversations, deep to the soul.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Look, I'll be on the same shit that I'm always on, man. Love the ones that love you back, man. We gotta be better than we were yesterday. We tried it the old way, you know what I'm saying? The old way obviously ain't working. So let's try it a new way, man. We can do more if we help each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just moving forward, take the chance on somebody that you wouldn't normally take the chance on. Call somebody that you've been meaning to call and you keep giving yourself an excuse not to call them. Reach out to those people, man, that have affected us on the way to where we are now. They might help us in the future. You never know. But this is the bottom of the bottle. I am Jay Walker III. That's Carolina Dirt 803. Special shout outs. Much love to Be Love from LGL Real Talk. And
thank you, guys.
Y'all be easy, man. Until the next time. We
Stay
go
on real quick. Be Love.
Okay.
Where? Of course, my stuff is not where it's
Thank you.